And Bev Thompson, welcome here to Adventures in Missions.
Thank you, and I also want to add my thanks to those who are supporting gospel outreach with their prayers and with their donations, because I see the results and it is thrilling.
Absolutely, you do. And Bev, for someone who might not be familiar with you and your area of work here at Gospel Outreach, share with our viewers the territory that you work in.
Yes, my area goes from Calcutta to Bhutan and south of Nepal down into central India. The states of West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, and Jharkhand.
Well, it's always great, and maybe you're not as familiar a viewer with your geography of India, but we certainly help, we want to educate you on that. And you can see that the population, 253 million, and Christians just a drop in the bucket. But the Lord is blessing and working.
We have our drop of 130 gospel outreach workers in that region of 255 million people. It's phenomenal, but it is that drop that fills the bucket, and it's filling faster and faster because of those who are learning about Jesus Christ and their willingness to share it with others.
And there might be a viewer, Bev, who this whole concept of gospel outreach might be new to them. Maybe they're turning on their television or the internet or wherever, the Roku, they're watching us for the first time. Why don't you share with them about how it works here at Gospel Outreach?
Yes, our gospel outreach workers are selected by the local ministry, local people who are on fire for God and want to spend their time spreading the gospel, but they're having to maybe take care of their families by doing rice paddies and bean and agriculture, but they participate in our church activities and like sharing, and they go visitation with our pastors or gospel outreach workers. So more of these are picked up by the local ministry, and then they go through the process of making sure that they know the complete story of the Bible. And then when they are selected, they make out an application which is sent through to us. And if there are sufficient funds, we can say yes. If there's not sufficient funds, it's sad, because they would like to be part of 100% of their time giving to gospel outreach or giving to reaching others with the gospel message. But it's only as we have sufficient funds in the garner that we're able to do this. But then I get to see them doing it, and they always come to meet me when I'm visiting their areas. And as you saw, the territory is very large, and so I go to 6 different units so that I can meet more of them at one time.
So these gospel outreach workers, they are Indian. They know the language, they know the culture, they know the things that people that they're rubbing shoulders with, their neighbors in the village are dealing with, sickness and all sorts of things like that, and they can then minister to them.
And I remember especially in North Bengal, one of the administrators, he said, we have many tribes in my area here. And he said, I've selected gospel outreach workers from 8 different tribes so that we can have a mission to each tribe.
Yes, and then that's probably a whole nother language or dialect or something. And
there can be a language that is involved with this, but they usually have a overlying language. There are 6 recognized languages in India. And so they usually know, partially anyway, the recognized one for that region.
And that's what amazes me. When you travel to any of these countries, you know, around the world, oftentimes, I mean, I met one lady and she speaks 5 languages, you know, and for us in North America, you know, if we've had 2 years of Spanish or 2 years of French or something like that, it's a whole different concept. But so the whole point is that we are wanting to effectively, not only financially, but also with time, to have these people share Jesus and spread the word.
My husband and I were overseas missionaries for 14 years, and we were required to learn the language in one country, and that was Brazil. We had to learn Portuguese. And when we got there, we found out that English just would not work, and we had to learn to be able to communicate with the people. We had to learn Portuguese. But these people are amazing in that they know, many of them know 3 to 5 languages.
Oh yeah, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.